What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and I don't know about you all, but the fact that Britney Spears be out here driving around by herself unsupervised scares the living crap out of me. There are very few things in this world that I think are as dangerous as Britney Spears behind the wheel. Every time I see Britney driving or I hear stories about Britney driving, I think about that South Park episode with the old people driving into people's houses and, the old people just destroying the whole town, riding around, crashing into everything. That's what I think of when I think of Britney behind the wheel. And, someone that's in the mental state that Britney's in, or maybe I should say someone that is capable of being in a mental state like Britney, because I do think that Britney has moments of clarity, and I think she has moments of just craziness, if you will. So I just don't think it's necessarily safe for someone like her to necessarily just be driving around the winding hills, out there in Cali. Also, she's Britney Spears. And already before, months ago, maybe even over a year ago now, Britney ran out of gas on the side of the road and literally hopped into a stranger's car. And, that's dangerous, okay? That is very dangerous for someone like Britney. But anyways, now Britney has gotten in trouble because apparently she was speeding. She got pulled over for speeding. And of course, she was driving without a driver's license and without proof of insurance. Because Britney is a 40-year-old woman who still has the mentality of a reckless teenager, it seems. But I want to go ahead and dive right in and see what happened here. Britney Spears got busted on the road last month, receiving a slap on the wrist for driving without some crucial documentation in her vehicle. The pop star was pulled over on September 10th by an officer in Ventura County, where she got cited for 2 infractions, according to court records. One of the violations was driving without a valid license in her possession. The other was for driving without proof of insurance. Law enforcement sources say that Britney was first pulled over for speeding in her white Mercedes, going 61 miles per hour in a 40 mile per hour zone. We're told that Britney was cooperative during the stop and was given a warning for her speed. Fortunately for her, she'll be able to deal with the infractions by paying a fine by October 24th. The total she owes is $1,140. So, $1,140, that's a drop in the bucket to Britney. But, being pulled over for this speeding and driving without a license, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's a big deal. It's not a huge deal. But I do think this is just another one of those warning signs of what's to come. The universe, it sends you little warnings sometimes. And it's up to you to react accordingly. And we've been given the warning signs so many times when it comes to Britney, but everyone wants to ignore it. Today, or on September 10th, it was a speeding ticket. It was driving without a license. But my question is, how long before Britney's out here walking the streets of LA naked like Amanda Bynes, hopping in random people's vehicles and getting chauffeured around town by random fans as she has a psychotic breakdown in their back seat? That's what I'm worried about, folks, and I really don't feel like we're too far from that. And another thing that I've been noticing lately is how there seems to be this uptick of shenanigans right before her book releases. You know, I've been covering this Britney situation for a while, and there were times that were worse than others. But I think the majority of us could agree, the majority of us who have been paying attention, let me know if you agree with this in the comments. If you don't agree, that's fine too. Let me know what you think. But in my opinion, from the way things have been the last few months, before the news of the divorce and before the knife dances, it seems like things were kind of calm. It almost seemed like maybe Britney was starting to calm down a little bit. Maybe Britney was getting, having a firmer grasp and firmer control over her emotions. There wasn't as many wild antics. We still got the weird dress-up videos and the cringy outfits. We still got some cringy dances. But, there wasn't, a bunch of nudes and random ramblings in the captions of her photos. For a couple of months there, things seemed to kind of die down and things seemed to be at least somewhat normal. And then, leading up into this new book, the last month or so, it's been overload. Oh, Britney's getting divorced, right? Or let's rewind it. First, Britney gets slapped or pushed by some bodyguard, right? And then Britney's getting a divorce. And then Britney's got a speeding ticket. And then Britney's dancing around with knives, cutting herself. And as someone that constantly preaches, to people to pay attention to the timing of things, I can't help but notice the timing of all of this. And while all of these stories are extremely believable because of the mental state that Britney's in, at the same time, I'm starting to question some of this stuff because it almost looks like things that are done for shock value in order to drum up interest in her new book. Like some of this is starting to look like promo. And if that's the case, that's very sad. You have streamers online, you have desperate YouTubers, desperate TikTokers, shock jocks that do things for shock value, trying to get attention. They get themselves involved in controversies and they get involved in a bunch of nonsense just to drum up interest and to gain clout, right? But someone like Britney should be beyond all of that. Someone like Britney shouldn't have to twirl around with butcher knives, get pulled over for speeding, get slapped by a security guard, and things like that for attention on her new book. But it's starting to look like that may be the case. Now, I'm not saying that's the case for sure. I'm just saying that it's odd that we had this quiet period for like 3 or 4 months, and then the last couple of months leading up to the release of this book have been nonstop nonsense once again from Britney. Now, maybe this is nothing official. Maybe this is just something that Britney's doing on her own. Maybe her team isn't even encouraging it. I don't know. Maybe Britney's acting out because she knows that more eyes are on her right now because of this book coming out. I don't know. But I've just noticed that, we went from a dry spell there to all of a sudden, every couple of days, there's now a new news story surrounding Britney. And we forgot not just the divorce, but also the talks of her sleeping around and having a relationship with the guy that was cleaning toilets at her house. There's been so much stuff over the past couple of months, and I can't help but wonder why now. Even this parking ticket, not parking ticket, but even this speeding violation and stuff. This is stuff that happened in September, but of course, we're just now finding out about it in October, right before her book releases. So, you tell me what you think. Do you think all of this stuff is happening naturally? Which, is not too far-fetched. But, I do think, there may be some tampering here. Do you think there's some tampering here? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next video.